Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Mad Tinkerer Gaming with me, Mad Tinkerer. Now, I just now brought up my beautiful stuff here from Marvel Strike Force, and I hope you all have been playing pretty hard here lately. There's been a lot of important news going on last week, and I didn't put out a big video. I was trying to get a good grasp over everything. FoxNext has apparently been sold to Scopely. So Scopely's making some pretty good games out right now. I mean, they're games that have lasted. They're doing the Starfleet Command. I mean, I've dabbled in it. I've got it on my BlueStacks, which is the emulator I'm using to show you this on my computer. And it's pretty useful. So check out BlueStacks too while you're at it. I know I've tried to stay out of the Reddits. Everybody there is, oh, this is going to be more pay to play, more pay to play. Well, I mean, you said that about everybody. And unfortunately, even though I like to be a free-to-play player, I still dabble a little bit with my money in here too. But like all games, there has to be a cost. And by paying to play, they're absorbing the cost that everybody that's a free-to-play player is doing. So it's kind of cool. A lot of people are worried that the price on things are going to go up because Scopely overvalues stuff, but I think it's going to maintain the same thing. I believe, from what I've heard, more than likely the FoxNext personnel who've been running the game are just going to be allowed to just keep running the game, but under Scopely. And I hope that's the case. So we'll figure that out as we go. Let me go in here to this event here, and we're going to check this out. Let's see if I can get a couple more shards here. Alright, yeah, I should be able to unlock what I need. Where do I have a spot available? Alright, right here. We're going to auto win. Oh, so close to getting a second orb. What I wanted to do today in this video is maybe a little rant. Hopefully people at Scopely will see some of this stuff and be able to I'll go ahead and spend some cores for this. I had quite a bit left. Alright, so now I can open 2 orbs. What I wanted to do was go through here, and the orb fragments we're getting are hidden potential orb fragments. And what I want to talk to people about, what I want to hopefully share with Scopely, is that I think most people aren't participating in these events like you would really plan. Don't get me wrong, they're cool events. They allow you to get free shards of a character. But I remember back in the day when you would have a run for something like this, and when you were doing it, you were getting shards of that character. We're going to go over here and we're going to open these shards that I just acquired. Alright. They're called hidden potential. Earn hidden potential orb fragments in the Imperial Affairs event campaigns. So what you're going to do is you can click on this right here, and you get 1 to 2 crystal shards guaranteed in the left pillar, and 1 to 2 crystal shards guaranteed right here. And here's your other rewards. For your rare shard drop, it could be this stuff, but more often than not, you're not going to get your rare shard drop. A 0.5% chance. Down here, these are the chances of characters you're going to get a lot more often. Now, I know she's tied up in here, and she has a little bit higher drop rate, almost a 10% drop rate in the 5 shard area. But this is what we're talking about. The super common shard drops, just getting 1 extra. With this one down here, 14.5%. I mean, it's not bad, but when people are running these guys at Scopely, and I hope you can try to implement this to make this better, I really do, is that when you open this and you open one of these orbs, you're not wanting to open it and have the central orb not be where your guys are at. Like when I open this, here we go, this is what we're going to get, right? Now I got 5 shards of thing. That's a really good guy. But what I would like to see is the central orb be the actual character that your event's based around, and the 2 side orbs be the secondary characters like Sabretooth or Manus or Spider-Man or the Thing even. I feel like that would make more people interested in doing it if they know they're going to get like 5 shards a pop of the character they're running, because it takes 3 or 4 runs a day to get 1 of these orbs and to get 5 shards. I mean, it's just the same as if I sat there and blitz all day and the character's in the blitz store and I get 5 shards. I think this would be something that would be more enticing to players. Old school players, players who've been around a long time, they just want the new shards. They've probably already got most of these other guys built up fairly well. So they would rather have them be the secondary characters. Maybe that's something you could address to make it better. I mean, I still understand it's free shards. It's great. People can build up stuff. But if you made the centralized character where I'm going to get 5 crystal shards after I get an orb, I'll be more likely to pay to buy campaign stuff and just build up my crystal shards that way. And it will make it a lot better for these characters. And older players to be able to get in here and do this. They'll spend a little bit of money to get stuff. Most people could spend $9.99 on energy to do something like that to upgrade crystals, and I feel like you would probably make a little more money. That's just one thing that I would view as a good change. I'll go ahead and open my second one just to show you what I'm talking about. I mean, if I have to work all day long and come on 3 or 4 times a day to get 1 or 2 shards, you know, that probably took me like 6 runs, plus I spent 50 cores to do this, and I've got 4 shards. So I didn't even get as much as if I would have blitzed all day. I didn't even get 5 shards. So it makes it a little bit harder for me to suggest doing these modes. It's dull and it's tedious to barely get any effort out of it, especially when you're talking about once you get them up to 5 stars, you're looking at another 500 orbs you need at 2 each. It's not going to cover anything, and I feel like it could be better used if you put the central focus character that you're running for as your epicenter shard, and you get 5 to 25 or whatever it is. I mean, I would rather you cut it down instead of offering 180 potential shards, which very few people probably ever get, to 48 shards, as long as it's the centralized one. I think that would be a better pull. I think more people would run this gambit. Another thing I want to talk about is the situation where a lot of older players are bored. You've got a lot of people that are free-to-play players that are out there right now. They're doing all of the content that you've put out, and I mean, there are some people that are really into this game running U7, but I wanted to say that the content we've had to date is not what it needs to be. We've been at U6 now, my alliance, for a while. We can walk through it. But when we go to U7, we can barely scratch it. We've not even really broke, I don't think we've broke 30%. I think the highest we got was like 22 or 24%. And what you all have done by releasing U7 is made a cookie cutter style build to progress. You have to have Ultron, you have to have whatever. And a lot of people don't have that. And Ultimus is supposed to be something that everybody can enjoy. It's not a Dark Dimensions. I feel like Ultimus 7 is way over the top. And I wanted to express my frustration at that, because a lot of older players, I feel, are getting to the point where it's stagnant. You're only able to run U6 unless you're like maybe a top 10% guild, you know, the top 100 alliances. Sorry, not guilds, alliances. The top 100 alliances are the only ones who are able to run it effectively. And even the senior guys in there are saying it's an exasperation for them. They don't feel like it's something that they're accomplishing. It's just something that they're having to do to progress and get extra shards of this or extra shards of that. It's not something that's fun for them to play or participate in. It's a drag out for them. When you have it timed and they run out of time, so they have to use cores, so they have to buy cores, so they have to buy shards to make a cookie cutter style team. Now, the one good thing I have noticed is you made those characters like farmable for the most part, that are the cookie cutter style teams, or ones that you can get because you can farm the Sinister Six to get your Shuri. Minerva is not farmable still, so you have to pay for Minerva to get her in any kind of shape to run U7. You've had to at least tier 13 to set 5 characters so that you can go in and get Ultron, because it's all based around Ultron play right now. But at least you did make Falcon farmable, and you can get Shuri to go with it, and Scientist Supreme's a farmable character. But that's the team builds that most people are kind of building around. You have to have those to do anything, and it's not progressively fun. Nobody's enjoying doing it because you're just having to sink a lot of money and a lot of gold and a lot of resources into building up teams to run that. And they're not getting really anything out of it. They're not getting extra stuff. I feel like you all have rushed all these cool characters out and made teams that are a money grabbing thing, and that's good. As a business, you need the money to come in to support your provisions of the softwares and stuff, but you're not making what we really wanted. We wanted new content to go with the new characters, and we haven't seen any of that. Now, I've heard there's some other things that'll be coming along, and ISO 8 reworks, so maybe you can more customize your characters, maybe a few more builds, but I don't really know what you can do because you've not provided anything for your free-to-play players that's more of an advantage right now. Right now we have a campaign node, which most people have already beat in my alliance, or if you're a new player, you're running the campaigns. You have Blitz, which I don't really do. I mean, I do enough of Blitz to where I get the actual rewards here. You know, I'll clear this out, but I do a couple each day so that I can get my milestones for my dailies. And then you have raids, which everybody does, but you're stuck. You're stuck over here on Ultima 6, running it over and over and over again with no hope of doing anything different. And your gammas, we're getting better at the gammas, but it's still not new content. These gammas, the Greek raids is what we call them, are going nowhere fast. It's just kind of the same progressional thing. We do the same things over. We need some new content. You've given us like 20 new teams with no new content to run in them, and it kind of sucks. So I'm hoping, Scopely, if you're watching this, if anybody sees this, maybe you will create some new concepts for us. And you know, you're slowly making some characters farmable, like you just started making the Fantastic Four farmable, and I am very thankful for that. But other characters that have been out for forever, like Minerva and Colossus, stuff that are in the top tier teams that everybody uses to run, they're still held back, and I believe that that's being a detriment at this point. You've unleashed so many new teams, and I feel like perhaps making some of those not just cash grabs, but something inclusive, like doing a Minerva blitz or a Colossus blitz would increase people blitzing. We haven't had stuff like that. It's always the new characters that you're just releasing. It's this and this. But I mean, since Minerva and Colossus have been out, you've released the Fantastic Four, you've released Supernatural, you've released the Wakandans, I believe, even came out after the X-Men. You've released AIM reproduction, you've released the Inhumans, the Asgardians, you've released the Marauders. So there's 7 or 8 full teams of characters that you've dropped out, yet we still can't farm Colossus or Minerva, and they're like pretty much raid inclusive characters. What I might suggest, and I'm hoping these are coming soon because people have been talking about it, is like Nexus. Right here, you've got 8 and 9. Open them up, and instead of taking characters out and just putting them one spot in or whatever, put stuff in here. Have a couple of characters that people really want to see in there, like Minerva, like Colossus, like Beast, or somebody new, or some of the Asgardians that you can't get except through pay-to-play motions. I mean, the Asgardians are a top-tier team. The Inhumans are going to be a top-tier team. Make some of these guys in some of these nodes. There's going to be like, what, 6 or 7 slots at least? I mean, this one has 9 right here. So that would have 9. This could have 9 with maybe 2 or 3 characters apiece in there. Or maybe do the yellow or orange, depending on your color output, gear that people are trying to farm. Like not the rare ones, but the basic ones. Those things are things that we need. And I'm hoping that they're included in these when you open them. But I mean, you could open Nexus, you could open more Cosmic. I mean, you're only at 3 stages in. You could have up to 9 here, and make some of these characters more playable. Please, please, for the love of God, make some of these players farmable, make some of the gear that we're struggling to locate farmable. When you go back here, and let's say I open one of these characters up here that I'm trying to tier 14. Let's say I click on Thanos here, and I need 30 of these to make one object. That means I need 150 of these to make 5. And guess what? Normally I can only find them in the warp, so they must have reset, so they're in the supplies. But most of the time it only pops up the war orb, maybe the orange gear orbs. So it's really hard to come by these. And when you do get a war orb, you're getting, what, 2 or 3? I need 150 of them. So we need these to be farmable, just the basic ones, not the super rare ones. Like, I don't need you to give me these books in there, and I don't need you to go over here and give me, for him I believe it's the palladium. Like, I've managed to acquire the palladium, but I don't need you to give me palladium in those things. Just make the basic ones key ones that we can use. Like, I need 2 more here, so I need 60 of these. I'm hoping that you can put some of those in some of these things to farm. Like I said, you've got a whole plethora of nodes you could open up and make new nodes. And I'm hoping maybe even if you do like the one-on-one system style, or when Dark Dimensions 3 comes out, they're going to be the rewards for it. Because once you get to a certain point and you're requiring people to T14 stuff, it's almost ridiculous, the requirements. I was just looking at it the other day, and to go from like 1 to 60 is like almost 2 million. To go from 60 to 70 is another 1.5 million or something like that. Or maybe that's more. It might be 1.5 to go to 60 and 2 million to go to 70, and then it's another 2 million roughly to go all the way up to 75. So you're spending like 5 million gold just to level the character up, not putting the gear on them. You're looking at a character to get to 75 is a 7 million, 8 million gold character, and then the time-intensive needs to get it to tier 14. I have one person in my alliance has 1 tier 14, and I mean, we're trying to be progressive, we're trying to build, we're trying to get to where we could run this new Dark Dimensions, because we have the most fun running Dark Dimensions. It's where you unlocked all the extra gear to make people tier 13s, to get them to go get Ultron, and Ultron was a huge reward. We enjoyed that tremendously. So please, Scopely, FoxNext, if you're out there watching this, please open up some of these extra campaign nodes. Put characters in them. I mean, you've got Mystic Forces here you could add extra to. You've got Cosmic Conflict you could add more to. So I'm hoping you guys will pay attention and do that. Since U7 to me is an ultimate fail. I mean, literally you've made it to where only whales can progress in U7 with ease, and everybody else is going to have to struggle along in U7 over and over and over again. And it's kind of detrimental to your player base. All the free-to-play players that have been around for a long time are just really bored without new content. So please, step up the game, open up some new things, make some characters more farmable. Maybe lax up on the gold. I mean, like I'm saying, it's costing 7 million gold to get a character up, and we're getting gold in the 150,000 a day, 250,000 a day genre. It's going to make it really rough to get characters leveled up and to keep continually progressing in the game. So that's my little rant for the day. I wanted to get that out there and do a little video on that. And I believe my next video I'm going to go over is updated top 10 teams, because there have been a lot that have come out and a lot that are becoming more farmable now. So I want to adapt that a little bit. And if you like this video, if you agree with me or if you don't agree with me, put it in the comments below. I mean, I know they have to make money, but they still market this as a free-to-play game, so I'm hoping that they can make some minor adjustments, or that they're already on their way. But if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and hit the bell icon so that you know when I put a new video out. This might have been as entertaining for most people. It wasn't showing anything great, but I hope somebody out there listens. Maybe some people can put some extra comments down below. And like I said, if you like it, give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and I'll keep putting more videos out for everybody to enjoy. So I'll see you all next time. Bye.